Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I'm at one of my favorite filming spot locations because guess what? I have something all new from that American luxury brand, and it's this vehicle right here. This is a 2026 Cadillac Vistiq. This particular one, I'm happy to report, is the sport trim. But before we get into this mid-size, three-row electrified luxury SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So Cadillac is really sticking to their game plan of bringing high luxury-esque vehicles to market. It all started with the Lyriq. Now we have the Optic and of course the Escalade IQ. This Vistiq falls right in between the Lyriq and the bigger Escalade IQ. The difference between this and a Lyriq is the Lyriq is a mid-size two-row SUV. This is a mid-size three-row SUV. Think outgoing Cadillac XT6. Now, in this segment, there's a lot of key players when it comes to premium luxury, but not many of them have been super successful with their electrified vehicles. Does Cadillac have the secret sauce to the best new luxury crossover SUV? Why don't we go ahead, let's dive into our Vistiq and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, overall dimensions, like I said, is going to be very similar to what you would find on an internal combustion engine Cadillac XT6. I love the radiant red tri-coat color, one of my favorite colors in the palette at Cadillac. And then at the front of the business, you're gonna see that familiar style that many of the other vehicles in the electrified family from Cadillac have. So up top, you have your super clear LED turn signals. Love the way on the Sport, you're gonna get blacked out chrome. No fuddy-duddy chrome, all nice dark chrome finish. We have our vertical stack of LED cube headlights, and it does a little dance as you approach the vehicle when you're going home to, you know, get some dinner together or go pick up the kids at school. The one zonk I have is the amount of just non-functional venting here. It looks good, it just would have been nice if there was some functionality to it, but right away you see it, and this screams Cadillac. Working our way down, more of that body color, the dark chrome, and then they finish out on the lower lip area in gloss black. Now, you have over 7 inches of ground clearance on this mid-size three-row crossover SUV. And like I said, I think when it comes to electrified vehicles, it's all about personality, and the way that you create personality comes with the lighting. Now, as we come across the front, what do we got going on? You have a really good style to the way that they work that design into the actual upper portion of the grille. You do have your Cadillac badge that illuminates at night, and what's nice is that this is all laser edged into the hood area. So what that means is that this all illuminates, and it's done such on a crisp layout that you don't have any kind of rough edges. It's all smooth, but it's all gonna illuminate at night. Now, as you come down, you got that Cadillac style forward-facing camera, which is really nice. And then if you're wondering, well, Joe, why do we have venting on the bottom? The reason why we have venting is you have functionality. So we have active shutters that open and close, and also you have arrow up top right where that forward-facing camera is. Now remember, this does have that Ultium battery pack, lithium-ion battery pack, and like I said, at the end of the day, you're looking at well over 7 inches of ground clearance underneath. Now as we rise up, slight bulge and a nice kind of bend to everything, because one of those things with an EV is to get the range, you also have to be able to cut down on the drag, and Cadillac has done that by making everything really kind of soft on the bend and nice tight body lines. That really looks fantastic. And then one thing you'll notice as we kind of swing around is you actually have a little bit of a kick up here on both sides of the bulge. That's going to get the air up and over the roofline area, Working our way down, what are we working with? Wheel and tire. So this particular sport trim has the 21-inch wheels, machined aluminum, that metallic satin gunmetal gray finish, and then you have these aero vents that are going to generate the air down the side of the vehicle. Now, what's great about the Vistiq when it comes to their overall driving characteristics is that you're going to have standard adaptive dampers all four corners. So that's going to help read the road and give you a nice balanced drive when it comes to sporty feel, but also comfort. There are other wheels, of course, because there's basically 4 different options. Well, technically, yeah. Technically, there's 4 because you have luxury, you have sport, you have premium luxury, that's a separate trim, and then you have the top trim, which is platinum. But I'm really digging the sport trim. Now, on the sport, you do have gloss black around the fender openings. Not my favorite. Not my favorite design whatsoever. I wish it was all radiant red. Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. You're also gonna find that upper suspension, the control arms, everything has been fine-tuned by Cadillac to give you that familiar Cadillac ride and driving experience. Now, as we come down the side, I like the way that you have this black dark chrome finish. Of course, the Cadillac badge looking good. And then from the side of the vehicle, you can see that this is larger, a little bit larger than the Lyriq, but definitely still the big dog is the Escalade IQ. Now, option-wise, this does have an option of going two-tone, where you have the black painted roof, A-pillar and all, including those roof rails. And I think it works super well with the radiant red, especially in the Florida sun. Black treatment around the window frame openings. And then down below, you're also going to notice the gloss black with the dark chrome finish. They did a really good job of being cohesive with the design. Flush mounted door handles. And the way that you open these, of course, the doors are locked right now, but you actually just pull the handle out to open up the door. And that does have some lighting there. And then up on our mirror cap, sport trim, they're gloss black with your 360-degree cameras and your LED lighting. Of course, in the belly of this thing is that lithium-ion Ultium battery pack, and we'll talk more about that when we pop the hood. Now, as we work our way back, another place where they use laser etching, like on the grille, I like what they did on the glass, this design. Just gives it a nice classy look, and you easily can identify this as a Cadillac. Another thing I think was super smart was going with the two-tone. They kept just the roof black, and they didn't bring it into the rear pillar here. I think that would have looked just like every other SUV. So kind of nice the way it's the A-pillar up front, but not the rear pillar at the back. And then of course the gloss black trim works well with the black painted roof. You have dual motors, so that's gonna give you all-wheel drive. And then as we come around the back, nice long sporty roof spoiler. You do have your rear wiper that swings down, full LED lighting. And then even the way they did the lighting on the back here. I mean, look at this. God, it looks, Cadillac does such a great job. Now, the one thing I can't stand is their badging. If you want to put E4, that's fine. This whole number thing, that 900 doesn't represent horsepower. It doesn't even represent pound-feet of torque. It's torque in Newton meters. Whoever thought about that, they need to change that right away. So I'm definitely going to zonk the badging. But having, like I said, the lighting, no exposed wiper, the dark chrome finish, and then having that illuminated Cadillac badge on the back. This is also your button to open up the rear lift back. There's the Vistiq badge. I like the way they're doing the lettering. That looks really good. And then working our way down the ground level, just like up front, Cadillac style has that peak in the center. You got the dark chrome, some gloss black, some gunmetal metallic gray, and then some ruffles, because obviously the designers love Ruffles potato chips. They wanted to incorporate that design into the rear bumper area, and I think they pulled it off very well. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk about what's powering this Vistiq. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. One of the disappointing things for many people is there's no frunk. All you have is you get to see the front motor on this new Vistiq, but no frunk. Let me know if you think that should be a zonk. Some people don't use their frunk, so I guess if you're never gonna use it, then who cares, right? But let me know in the comment section if you care. What we have on the Vistiq Sport are two motors, 615 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque. Of course, it has a direct drive transmission, 0 to 60 in about 3.7 seconds. The vehicle weighs 6,326 pounds. You could tow up to 5,000 pounds with it. MPG's 93 in the city, 78 on the highway, and I know the big question everybody's wondering, what's the range? Range is 305 miles. On a DC fast charger, you could do 79 miles of charging in just 10 minutes. So obviously on 240 or 120, it's gonna be slower, but on a DC fast charger, almost 80 miles of charge in just 10 minutes. But why don't we go ahead, let's turn this on and see it zoom off. All right, guys, we're inside this 2026 Cadillac Vistiq Sport. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I actually have liked what Cadillac is doing with their electrified vehicles. I'm digging this Vistiq. How much is it? So starting price is right around $77,000. This one being a sport, the way that it's spec'd, has an MSRP of $81,900. But let's see what Cadillac brings for your hard-earned money to the door panels. Absolutely love the material. So what you're gonna find is nice soft touch up top. Really digging that colorful carbon fiber that they're using. The aluminum trim. They have the seat controls nice and high up out of the way. You got heated seats, ventilated seats, and you have massage seat settings for both the passenger and the driver. More elegant aluminum trim. There is some gloss black around the switchgear for the windows and door locks, but that shouldn't be that big of a deal. That piece of aluminum in the center there, that's for your door handle. And then I love the contrast stitching everywhere. Now, of course, this Cadillac has the AKG audio sound system with 23 speakers. Look at that speaker grill cover. Very, very classy. And even the way they did the back portion of the door panel, they put some design inside there. Do you see how there's almost like these ridges? Really liking what they did with the style. And then you have a door pocket large enough for a two New York bagels with extra schmear cream cheese and a big old bottle of chocolate Yoo-hoo to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, you have that nice smooth soft touch material. In the upper corner, you have more of those AKG speakers. Really, really nice with the aluminum style trim. These are your manual controls for the AC vents. Down below, we have more carbon fiber, 2 wireless chargers, 2 USB-Cs, and then all the way down on the bottom is a perfect place for a purse, a merce, a sack, a satchel, even a cowboy hat you could put down there, maybe even a sun visor. Now, the other piece of big talking news is the uninterrupted screen. We have 33 inches of 8K resolution. And I love the way it's got a nice slight bend to it, sort of just like floating in place. Of course, it's full touchscreen capability, your Google Maps, your full Google suite of all the different things. You have ambient lighting, Roy G. Biv. You could get all the different colors. There's actually 3 different zones of lighting. Look at this. Here's all the different styles. It's ridiculous, the technology. And then we go to charging. What's nice is that you could actually set how much you want to charge the battery. Maybe you're just going to be at work for a little while. you only want to charge up to 70%. Or you could go, of course, all the way 100%. Other goodies that I always like to show are going to be the cameras. They got the best cameras. General Motors has the best cameras in the business. Every angle. I feel like we're the lunar lander on the moon back in 1969 with all these different camera angles. You also have your pull-out icon, so I could turn on my one pedal operation. You got your charging, all those different things, nice pull-out buttons to get access to, and then finally the drive modes: Tour, Sport, Snow, /Ice, and then My Mode, which of course My Mode is you get to set up all the preferences. Now what I like is, like, when you go into Sport, it actually tells you what those things get set to with your braking, your suspension, even interior sound. So very nice to see that. Now you do have your direct transmission with the electric shifter right on the column, and we do have, there's our shifter, there's our Super Cruise, which I'll show you more of that when we get to the business side. Everything AC wise is going to be controlled through this 8-inch touchscreen. Love the way it's got the nice classy Cadillac badge, but you're going to do all your AC controls, your dual climate, all that is through this separate screen, and it's got a haptic kickback when you touch it, which is nice. Now you have a real volume knob. It's one of those little barrel tumblers. You got your direct drive control knob with the Cadillac badge if you don't want to touch the screen. 2 sculpted cup holders. You even have a place right here for some Slim Jims. You could put about 2 Slim Jims in there with more of that orange bronze carbon fiber. That soft touch with the stitching. Open it up. What do we have in here? We got a special, so you see this card in here? This is your Cadillac discount card to Circuit City, Radio Shack, those kinds of places. You can get some big savings. But what's nice is that you have another USB-C felt lining. So you could put 2 iPhone 49 Platinum encrusted diamond editions in here, and they're not going to get scratched if you're stepping up to that kind of phone. Seats, we got the speakers in the headrests, soft leather, the piping, the stitching. Like I said, all the controls are not on the seat, they're on the door panel, which allows for the cushion. There's more cushion for the pushing of your body in this XT6, I almost said it, XT6, in this Vistiq. Like I said, this is the same sort of setup as an XT6, so you could actually graduate if you wanted to this vehicle if you have an XT6. And then, love the way you got that large power shade for our panoramic sunroof. And there's ambient lighting all throughout the headliner. At night, it looks pretty fantastic. It looks like you are taking the kids to Walt Disney World for the laser light show. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you the great tech that's waiting here for you when you go Vistiq. All right, guys, business time. Behind the wheel, you do have 2 memory seat settings for the driver's seat. I do love these sill plates that illuminate at night with the Cadillac badge. Pedal box is decent. Aluminum brake pedal, aluminum throttle. This dead pedal, though, is sad. That's a sad dead pedal. I'm going to have to zonk that. Where's my aluminum dead pedal? Seats, like I said, they're comfortable. They're supportive. I'm 6 feet tall. Plenty of room in here. Love the single spoke steering wheel. I'm actually digging it in the Cadillac. There's your Super Cruise, like I said. You have your V mode. That's going to give you extra performance. A little bit of that silver aluminum finish. It does have the paddle on the back of the wheel. That's for that regen braking. And you do have a power tilting and telescoping wheel. On the left side here, you could actually touch different parts of the screen to actually make changes to the screen. And I'll show you that when you swing on in. So what do we have is the continuation of that 33 inches of display. So you slide on in. There's your 30 extra set of the inches to make 33. We could bring up our map, your assist, or you could just go clean. That's what you get when you just go clean or energy. So kind of nice that there's many different ways to bring up that information. And then there is no head-up display in this vehicle, which is kind of interesting. But you do get 1 pedal operation. And if you're wondering what is that thing on the top of the steering column, because I know Lori really wanted me to point out, that's for Super Cruise. So that monitors your eyes because Super Cruise wants you to look where you're going or where it's taking you, basically. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the mid row and the third row and see if your family's gonna enjoy this Vistiq. All right guys, we got the AC kicking because today it's like 93 degrees and 100% humidity. Mid row seats, just like up front, they got the great stitching, wonderful pattern. Let's pull down the armrest. Come on, it's too narrow. I'm gonna have to zonk it. It's gotta be a little bit fatter on the armrest. They do slide and they do recline. And the other good news is that you do have AC vents built into the frame rail. I always like to see that. And then look at the way they did the backs of the seats, the nice stitching, the great material. You have enough room in here. You could put, I would say, 5 wooden sticks of rock candy. I don't know if you've ever had rock candy before, but it usually comes on some type of wooden stick so you could eat it. You could put 5 of those back there. And then you're probably gonna wanna make an appointment to go see the dentist right away after you're done eating all that. Now the back of the command center, the passengers in the back seat get an 8-inch touchscreen as well. They do have heated seats, but no ventilated seats. That is a zonk at $81,000, but it is full touchscreen, just like up front. And for the third row, 2 USB-Cs, a home power source, and then you pull this guy out, you got your 2 cup holders. Plus, see how smart Cadillac is? They know you got a Twinkie on you. You can put your Twinkie in there, perfect. So 2 drinks and a Twinkie. Sounds just about right. Now, the one thing that's really weird is that I feel like I'm sitting way too low in here and my knees are too high. I don't necessarily feel wonderful. The good news is that, like I said, you do have the slide and you do have the recline with these little puny armrests. Love the way they brought the carbon fiber, the aluminum speaker grills of the 8KG sound system, but I just feel like I'm sitting too low, man. I feel kind of weird. I'll be honest with you. I feel weird. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just a big weirdo, but that's what I'm feeling right now. But we'll put the seat up like that because what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this all in one step. Go like that, and then we're gonna go like this, and then we're gonna have the seat kind of come up like that. So nice to be able to get the seat out of the way so Lori could kind of show off what's going on here. We got AC vents, which are great. I could open those and close them. Nice position. Super soft on the armrest. The only thing it's actually good. I almost spoke too soon. First of all, let me tell you something. I didn't even know this until I got back here. Knock, knock, who's there? It's Sunny D. You do have a glass roof. You can't open it, but the rear passenger does get a glass roof. I just wish there was a sunshade in case I didn't want the sun. I do love the AC vent. You got USB-Cs on both sides, which is wonderful. The other thing that is weird is I just feel like I'm sitting too low in here. Look how high my knees are. So kind of weird the way they did that, but I got my aluminum speaker grill cover and I got my cool design on the window to look out of. And these are soft. That's a nice touch. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the cargo area because I want to show you how much room there is in this Vistiq. All right guys, time to get in the cargo area. Now one thing I want to point out is that the camera that's above the Cadillac badge, that's actually for your digital rearview mirror. The backup camera is this one with the washer, which is really nice. Now we're gonna hit that Cadillac badge. It's gonna rise up. Now one thing to remember is that if you have the key fob in your pocket, it'll actually open up for you. So if you're the type of guy like I am, where you have to carry every single bag from the grocery store and get it into the back of the vehicle, you're not gonna do it in 2 different trips. You gotta do it all in one shot. You keep the key fob in your pocket. As you walk up, you get some chimes, you get some lights flashing, and the hatch opens up for you. Now, with the hatch up, you're gonna notice we have about 15.3 cubic feet of space. Good amount of space. Let me put this up because that's bothering my OCD. Now they're both the same. On the driver's side, you got a nice large nook for a gallon of chocolate milk. That comes from brown cows. On the passenger side, this is where we have all our goodies. You got your 12 volt. You have your switch gear to put down the third row, and you have your switch gear to put down the mid row. Now what's nice is that it's just a one touch, one and done. I like that. Headrest drop down. It's gonna be totally flat. You'll notice the soft touch material on the armrest here. There's your AC vents, which are great. Nice, easily accessible. Now with that third row down, you're looking at 43 cubic feet of space. Now if you fold down the mid row, you got 80 cubic feet of space. Plus, what I love is you have storage underneath here. It's the simple things. You put this up, it stays up. I love that fact. And then in here, you could easily put, I would say about 15, 16 boxes of Twinkies. Now, what you will find are all your charging accessories. So this is for charging at home. I was thinking what you could do, if you wanted to, is get some handcuffs, and you can handcuff the bag to your wrist, and it'll look like you have something really special in here, and people are going to wonder who you are and what's in the bag. But we'll keep that back here. Lots of other space. If you're wondering what this is for, this is not to have fun with. This is for when you're going to tow the vehicle, if you need to tow the vehicle. But we'll keep that back there. Close it up. It's that time. If you're ready, I'm definitely ready. Let's go for a spin and see how this electrified Vistiq handles the road. All right, guys, we're inside this 2026 all new, first time ever Cadillac Vistiq Sport. And right away, I really love the interior and how it's laid out in this vehicle. Easy to get to that 33 inches of 8K resolution screen. All of the touches, the stitching, the material in here is on point. And even simple things like being able to have this touchscreen area on the left here of the steering wheel, and I could actually adjust what I want displayed directly right in front of me. And there's a lot of different options, so that if you want to have your Google map up here, now you can go into your main system and do something like, say, bring up drive modes, which right now we're in sport mode, obviously. Even the way that you could pull out the single buttons down there on the touchscreen for things like one pedal driving, which right now I have it on normal. Nice to have that flexibility. But very, very smooth, very comfortable. The fact that we have massage seats for the driver and the passenger. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do some roll, and then you could do your intensity, which is great. And it's nice to be able to just have those functions 1, 2, 3 at your fingertip. And that's one of those things that I think as you drive the vehicle more, things just make more sense and you get used to it. But just very smooth. And the fact that with one pedal operation, you could you could change the intensity is nice as well. Because as you can see, I'm coming to a dead stop. I have my legs pulled all the way from the pedals. Really great for when you're in high traffic situations. That's where I really feel that the big plus is for the one pedal operation. But like I said, having everything nicely laid out in here, you got plenty of storage. And I'm glad that everything isn't in the main screen. It's nice to have the separate controls for things like your dual climate control. And then you have all of your seat controls on your door panel, which makes it very easy to adjust things like your ventilated seats or adjust your massage. And the massage setting on this thing is pretty darn good. It doesn't feel like just these two things poking me in my back. It's like it actually feels like some hand action going on there. But I think you're going to be impressed with how classy it feels in here. Love the aluminum finishes. No gloss black on this interior, which I gotta applaud Cadillac for not going the easy way out. Everybody wants to do gloss black, but you don't have to worry about that in this Cadillac Vistiq. All right, guys, the light is turning green and we are gonna go on throttle. Are you ready? On throttle, here we go. Zoom, zoom, zoom away. Like I said, 0 to 60 in way less than 4 seconds. And I just, you know, with the dual motors, you're getting all-wheel drive. And even though this isn't a Vistiq V, it's got some potent power to it, as it should, being an EV, especially when it comes to instant torque. But just really a pleasure to drive. Very, very straightforward. Once you get the handle of how everything is situated, it's literally a piece of cake. I'm going to use the paddle behind the wheel for my to slow down the vehicle besides the one pedal operation. So that's kind of nice as well, the way you could use that paddle. I'm going to go ahead and shut off the one pedal operation, and I have it on auto hold. But what's nice is you use that paddle on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, and it stops you right away. On throttle, here we go. People just don't know the acceleration of these EVs. I mean, it is really, really mind-blowing and very surprising for a lot of people just how SUV like this can get up and go. I like the way there's not a bunch of piped-in sound and fake sound. You're just getting a little bit of a whoosh sound like a Tron cycle from the electric motors. And then, of course, with the adaptive suspension, really, really, I mean, look at this. Handles very well. You do have that lower center of gravity with it being an all-out EV, because you got the battery pack nice and low in the chassis. Not a bunch of wind noise, and definitely not a bunch of road noise, which is great as well. But look at the way this thing handles. I mean, it's freaking impressive. You ready? On throttle. Hit the V button, gives you a little bit extra oomph. All right, guys, let's see how this handles. Very nice. Look at this. Round and round and round we go. Here we go. On throttle, yeah. Up and off to the races, as we say. But just really, really well done on bringing the luxury, bringing the technology, bringing everything that you would expect from Cadillac in this midsize 3-row crossover SUV. It really is just it really shows how strong General Motors is with their electrified lineup. And like I said, the dual climate control, really nice to work. You can get on the brakes. Look at this. Here we go. Look at the handling. Wow. Really, really nicely set up in here. And the fact that with Super Cruise, you can turn it on, you can turn it off. It's easy to regain control, whatever you want to do, and you have that 305-mile range. Which, let me know how you feel about that in the comment section. I was personally a little surprised by that. I was thinking this would have around 350 compared to the 305. But let me know your thoughts on the whole 305-mile range of this midsize 3-row. But man, it's really, really nice to drive. Nice digital rear view mirror. You got the panoramic sunroof. And the fact that you could turn off that one pedal operation very easily, and then it just drives like you're familiar with, just using the brake pedal yourself. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of this Cadillac Vistiq Sport. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways. It's always gonna be a good day driving a Cadillac, but definitely want to thank the whole team over at Cadillac for getting us access to this all-new 2026 Vistiq Sport. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you think. Does this bring the right level of luxury and driving experience that you expect for this price point, especially compared to the competition? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, then you're being part of the Raised Rise family. Gotta give it up to LGR. She is rock solid. Nothing phases her, including snakes. So thank you, Lori, for being the rock. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.